Hello. How are you? It is June 24th. It's Thursday evening. And it kind of just felt like, what better day than today to talk and kind of catch you up in a way. It's not at all going to be like a comprehensive catch up. I'll probably do a get ready with me. I feel like that's always like a safe, video choice when you need to like really talk things out, because it's the whole process of getting ready. But I wanted to give you a little bit of context as to what's going on, because lots are going on. One is, I'll touch on this briefly now, and then I'll go in more in depth in the get ready with me, because I feel like it really needs in-depth, explanation. I took a break. Obviously, I took a break because I needed to unpack a lot of stuff. It was a lot deeper than just burnout, and I think it was kind of tangled into burnout, but it wound up being more than that. And then just sort of like life doesn't stop even when you're trying to unpack your things, and that kind of kicks out the time frames in which you would like to resolve whatever you're kind of navigating and work it through. So that, and then the other thing is, I just tried really hard to give myself no deadline. I work on a deadline with my business. Like my company, my clients, I have deadlines for my clients. I've always been on deadlines professionally, so I don't know any other way. I haven't normalized another way, I really should say. And I should probably, it's just, in an effort to give myself the time I needed, I didn't want to put a time frame on that, because I don't even know. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. The other thing is, because I just was so creatively depleted, and I've said this, I feel like I've said this, I definitely have thought it a lot, where I felt like I was just churning out content for the sake of it, and not content that I was excited about or proud of. And I didn't have any creative narrative direction. I didn't even know really how I wanted to go, because I had these like manufactured, self-imposed deadlines for nothing. So that's the short version. I'm back. I'm coming back with like a weekly video. I think I'm happy with that. It gives me time to be creative. It gives me time to tend to my life. It gives me time to fulfill my passions and my hobbies. It also gives me time to do all of the things that we have been working on while I've been taking a break. So that leads me to this part. So we are going to be making some pretty crazy changes this year. I've spoken before about the garden, with everything I wanted to do with the garden, and kind of fighting myself and trying to exercise restraint when I really just want to go full speed. Turns out exercising on that restraint was really great, because we're not going to be here for much longer. I've mentioned before that like we hadn't really anticipated being in this house for more than I think at that time I was saying like a year. And that was in the spring. That was like in January, February, March. We were thinking like, I think in January it was like at max 15 months. So I knew I was going to get a full calendar year here. But I wasn't really planning on, in like my development of gardening, of being a gardener, I should say, more than anything. I hadn't really anticipated having a proper like winter harvest here, ever. I just knew that wasn't going to happen in this property, which is fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're always learning, so it's fine. But I also, I didn't realize that it was going to come as soon as it did, which is, again, it's actually great news. Especially if you live in, I feel like any major city right now in America, but definitely in Texas. Austin's housing market is absolutely crazy. So, I mean, like, crazy. And between everybody that's already moved here, everybody who still wants to move here, people that come to East Seattle and fall in love with it, that are South by and fall in love with it, and then tech companies that are coming here, like, they never seem to stop. So it does not benefit us to wait any longer. And we're also finally in a spot where we can. So I don't have concrete deadlines on time yet. I don't have concrete, really anything right this second. But I will pretty soon. So that, for me, was a pretty perfect cue to pick the camera back up, because something that I have really wanted to do the whole time he and I have been talking about moving and doing the Forever House was to document that process in whatever way it came, right? And I still don't know what way that's gonna come. I don't know if we're gonna be building on bare land and putting like a trailer or something on it and live in that while it's being built. I don't know if we're gonna buy a house already done, maybe modify it. I don't know if we're gonna buy a house that's, you know, perfectly livable and then just modify it kind of after all of this craziness blows over. I don't know, but as we make those decisions, I will keep you posted, and I will bring the camera along for whenever I can. I'm not going to bring it along with house hunting because we're looking at properties that I don't think would be cool with that. I don't know. I'm just keeping it really open. I don't know. But yeah. So good news is we're going to be buying a Forever House. I don't know what that looks like. We haven't made any purchases. We haven't even really looked at too many places, but we are officially looking. The thing I would tell you, there's so much. There's so much. It's crazy. I get my hair done tomorrow, so I look kind of rough right now, but it also is like a perfect metaphor for where I feel like this. There is tons of excuses not to pick the camera back up, and then there's life, right? And I just have had so much stuff lately kind of come at me that has been reminding me to, like, you know, life happens in the imperfection. Life happens in the inopportune timing. Life happens when you're not ready. So why would you wait for the perfect creative moment? You know, just keep going. Like anything in life, consistency is key. So here we are. I will take you on, well, let's talk about the garden. The garden is fine. Everything's fine. I lost my first black Krim tomato. I have like these beautiful black Krim tomatoes on the vine right now, and they are like perfect. They are stunning. But they're green. They're nowhere near ripe. But the shape, the body, all of it, like they're perfect tomatoes. And they are like, I mean, we're just getting to where they're blushing, and then I'll pull them and vine ripen them because of our heat. And I went out this morning. I do a morning garden walk every single morning with my coffee, and I just kind of inspect everything. I water. I do whatever I gotta do, right? And especially with the heat, you know, a lot can happen in a day. And I went out this morning and there was a big ass bite taken out of a black Krim tomato. So I don't know if that's like multiple bites that look really good or what. That had happened. And then there's another plant, I believe it's tomato, that has been like clean bitten. I mean, there's like literally just like the back curve, but it's real smooth. So we're officially in that phase of the garden. I watch Roots and Refuge a lot. I really love how she teaches gardening. It's very inspirational. It's very like nurturing for the gardener. It's very forgiving. I like that. But she had said something today that I kind of really needed to hear. And it was, if you want, like, life doesn't happen in perfection. Life and perfection don't exist in the same space. It's something like that. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what I needed to hear. You cannot have an organic garden full of life and not have the bites taken out of things. You just don't get that, right? Like, if you want to spray for bugs and not have hummingbirds or not have butterflies or not have whatever, that's your choice. But I want to have an organic garden, and with that comes growing more stuff because you're going to lose some. And so I kind of needed to hear that a little bit, because I'm in that phase that I think anybody who loves anything a lot, kind of, that has to leave it, kind of finds themselves in, where I I'm slowly breaking up with this garden, you know, because I'm not, this is like, a couple weeks ago, Jeremy told me that he doesn't anticipate us spending the holidays in this house. He's like, I would not anticipate spending, like, doing Christmas here. And I did not anticipate him saying that to me. I thought it was going to be like beginning of next year. I really thought we'd get through Christmas. And then it kind of hit me when he gave me his time frame. I've planted my last seeds at this house, and I didn't know it. You know, like I hadn't realized. So I don't anticipate losing a lot of the crops that should be harvesting. Like I think I've timed my planting to harvest to where I'll see pretty much everything through. If anything, I'll be cutting their harvest life, like the seasons, pretty short, but that's okay. I've said multiple times, I say it on Instagram all the time, this is my classroom garden. This is where I make mistakes. This is where it's okay to lose it. This is, I mean, it's okay. It's always okay to lose your crop. It's always okay to learn. It's okay to learn. And you learn by failing, right? Like that's a really effective way of learning. But this house, one of the wonderful things of having such an imperfect layout for gardening is it, in that imperfection, gives you a world of opportunity to just try. And that's been really crucial to my development as a gardener. And I think my number one priority since I've decided to take it so seriously is to grow me more than grow food. I need to grow the type of gardener that I want to be more than I need to have a really great yield, you know? And I think once I decided and really clarified that, it really liberated me with how experimental I would get and how forgiving I would be and how, you know, just forgiving I would be with things like, it's, yeah, like volunteer plants or what the hell is this now? Or, oh God, did I prune that too heavily? Oh, what did I do? Like all that stuff, right? All the mistakes that you make. Because one of the things I do, if you are new, is I grow heirloom. So I don't grow things that I can just run out and pick up a start from. Everything I grow food-wise comes from seed. I really enjoy growing from seed. So one of the cool things is I might have the potential, I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but like I'll have the potential to have a proper seed starting area eventually and have the full, like he and I've had this conversation so many times, to have the full life cycle really thought through to where I've really, okay, sorry, my card was full. I need to clear it out. What was I saying? Okay, so one of the cool things about kind of sacrificing more time in the classroom is I get more time in the Forever Garden. And who's to say that can't be a classroom, right? Like that's the ultimate classroom. But it's also, it's this weird thing that I've been processing lately. And so I struggle, and I'll say more about this in depth, but like I struggle a lot with the luxury of time and the luxury of being able to take your time. And that's never been a luxury that I've been typically afforded. So it's something I struggle with. I am used to having to react quickly. I'm used to having to juggle 100 things. I'm very used to working at a very fast pace. And to slow down and to be more conscious and to kind of survey the landscape of potential and opportunity and to maybe not make a decision right away. That's still relatively new to me, you know, and I don't do so well with it because I'm just used to having a lot on my plate. And so one of the really lovely things that gardening has taught me, and one of the things that being in this phase of our life that we're in, is that not knowing doesn't necessarily equate to being stagnant. And that was really tough for me to, like, that took a long time for me to figure out. It is not always about treading water. And that's like a pet peeve of mine. I really hate treading water. it doesn't necessarily automatically mean you're not making headway on something. And so I've got ideas for stuff that just to help kind of properly articulate everything I've been working on inside my head and in my life and what I want to show and decisions that I've made and all of that kind of stuff. I've definitely been working on that. There's no question about it. But just to kind of provide a little bit of like an amuse bouche for you, I want to just kind of state, A, it has not been quiet on this Western Front. B, there's going to be a lot of change happening in the back half of my year and of this channel's year, but it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited. C, I think there's been, I was watching something of myself. I'm trying to be concise and I'm just so not doing well at it. I was watching a video on my channel from like years ago. It came up somehow. And it was kind of crazy to watch it now, especially where I'm at right now, because I've been doing so much work on myself the last couple of months. And I could just tell, and I was actually in a better place than I was in my last channel, but like I could tell how much pressure was on me. And I could just see I don't have time. I have to get shit done. And now I'm in a place where I'm almost fumbling. I'm not used to having this kind of time. You know what I mean? Like I'm almost like trying to, it's weird. But it's a journey, and I think there's value in showing some of the journeys. I really, really, really want to show what this process is like, because this is not going to be a starter home. It's not going to be a make-do home in terms of like, we're going to live here for a year or two and then we're going to jump ship. This is really going to be what we're doing. And it may not be perfect out the gate, but it means the world to us. And whatever shape it takes, we decide we want, you know. And I think that's what I kept saying to him this week, is just pause in the fact that we have had this conversation a million times. We have talked about every iteration of what this could look like and what our goals are and dreams are, and, oh, wouldn't that be nice, and, oh, what could we do, and there's just all kinds of shit that we talk about. And then when you actually step up to the plate, suddenly it kind of goes in the background, and your instincts are just, but what do I actually really want? Like, what do I really want? What do I really need? What will really hit that, mark for me? And it's kind of bananas how much that's different than what you've been talking about for so long. So, yeah, I'll go more into depth on this in different videos, because I have no clue how long this one's going to be. I've been filming for weeks. But I did want to at least have a little bit of a sit down with you and just kind of let you know right now. And this will be, again, more in depth later, but everything's good. Everything's okay. I'm a little fatter right now, but that's okay. It's actually slowly coming off, and I will also talk about that. It's fine. But it's okay. And my hair is getting fixed tomorrow, so please don't worry too much about that. I'm really excited for what, it's funny, I kept kind of struggling with how to, I was like fumbling for my words a little bit on this one. I was trying to crystallize what I was trying to learn from this, and I spent the last couple of weeks, several weeks, I'd venture to say at this point now, trying to force a lesson from this break. Like trying to make this break having meant something. And it finally kind of hit me that it's the thing I was talking about earlier with the timetable. My break wasn't over yet, so I didn't have a lesson yet. And every time I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to film a video, I'm going to get it up this week. And it just doesn't happen. And then I get a little annoyed, but not like a lot annoyed. It's just enough to where I like check myself a little bit. And then I kind of go, I'm not done yet. What's next? And this week specifically was the week that I swear to God, I've been working on so much stuff, and one of the things I was thinking through was, it's like a whole mountain of a topic, but I literally had this thought Monday, I was thinking, like, I really need to film a video. Like, I feel like this is the week. I feel like this is supposed to be the week. And then I think by Tuesday, I just knew. That's what this was about. And then now I'm sitting down and I'm talking about a little bit, not to be like a teaser, but like just a little bit, just for time, I mean, more than anything. But yeah, like, lots to come, lots on the horizon, lots of change, lots of apologetic vagueness and ambiguity. Like, I'm sorry for not being clear. It's because I don't have clarity yet. Like, I can't give you what I don't have. You know what I mean? But it's providing it's okay to not know. You know, I think that is a really remarkable lesson to learn, especially for me, kind of later in life, like, considering what the lesson is. But I think there's some sort of value, there's something coming out of this. I can feel it. There's something materializing from all of this work I've been doing on myself lately. And I just have this gut instinct feeling that all those non-starters and all that bullshit and all those roadblocks and all the unnecessary whatevers, no, that was all right there. That was right there. That was, you're doing great. You're right on track. Everything's fine. I think I just kind of, maybe it's just like kind of, you know, that kind of crescendo moment in the chaos where you just kind of come up out of the water a little bit and you're like, okay, I didn't die. I kind of feel like that, but with purpose. Like, it actually is going to be great. Yeah, so apologies if that sounds really ambiguous. Apologies for any, I just general apologies. Sorry, I haven't been around. I've been on Instagram. Sorry, nothing. I mean, we've had plenty of bullshit. Hell, I had a cancer scare, but I'm okay. It just has been nonstop. It's more me saying, like, there's just been a ton of stuff that's happened, and at no point was that like, hey, I should pick up the camera and be like, hey y'all, I know it's been a minute, I gotta go get a cancer scan done and make sure I'm all right. That's not really how you want to come back. And it's also, it wasn't anything. It was all my biopsies came back benign, so we're okay. But yeah, so cheers. I found a White Claw that tastes good, because, you know, part of the territory. I want to conclude with all of the nonsense I just said. I am so excited. I am so excited. I have absolutely no idea what's on the horizon. I'm low-key terrified, but more than anything, I'm just really excited. I'm like, it's this weird combination of feelings where it's like total, like, bliss level excitement. You're just like, holy fucking shit, this is gonna be so much fun. There's incredible amounts of proud. I feel incredibly proud. Like, more proud than I felt in a very long time. I'm like, for something that is so tense, I feel like I can breathe. There's just a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of, it's all, I feel like they're all appropriate, they're all good. And it's all unknown. But the thing I keep having to remind myself of, I'm so sorry, this is so not short, is I have done really, really, really well. Every major improvement in my life every like life-changing improvement has come from taking a massive fucking risk. Like just diving in the dark, you know? I mean, straight up. So I feel incredibly comfortable in that space. Like I've done this before and I have not died yet. So like history trends to the positive, you know? And yeah, so I'm jazzed. I'm really excited about it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying subscribed, for me not giving you enough, you know, information. But I really appreciate all the support. I really appreciate all the love on Instagram. While I've been gone on YouTube, I have been on Instagram, and you all have just been so steadfast with your comments and your DMs and your love on all my whatever I'm talking about, and I really appreciate it. And I am very excited to take you on this journey wherever it may lead us. But you will come along and it will be wonderful. I have absolutely no doubt. Yeah, so cheers, y'all. See you soon.